Welcome back to our channel Teaching and Learning. In this channel, as you know, we often talk about IELTS practice, English language, business communication, writing skills, and so many other skills and aspects that are useful for the teacher and students, professionals, businessmen, even the other professionals and common people. So today in this video, I'm going to talk about detail about IELTS test and practice. What is IELTS and how we can actually engage in IELTS practice and can have the better score, and why do we need IELTS test also. So first of all, let's start from what an IELTS is. IELTS is the abbreviation or short form of International English Language Testing System. So this is a testing system that actually tests the 4 skills of an individual, mainly designed for the non-native speakers of English language. Non-native, it means those whose first language is other than the English language, or their mother tongue is different, their first language is different than the English language. So if they really want to go to those countries where the first language is English, or native language is English, or the teaching and learning, or let's say other conversation is mainly done in English language, then at that time you need to test your English ability. And sometimes more than that, even though we are here at our nation, at our society, at that time also we can test our English language. So this is one of the beautiful and very valid and let's say very convincing test, trustworthy test of English language. I believe that way, and many people in this world think that IELTS is the accurate test of English proficiency of somebody else. So as we know that there are 4 skills of language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And IELTS, as it is the testing system, so it actually tests these 4 skills of the person. So it tests your listening skills, listening ability, whether you understand when somebody speaks to you in English or not, first questions. And if you understand, again, to what extent do you understand? Do you have any problems whenever you listen the native speaker or somebody who speaks English about any topic or any subject matter? Either it is the very brief and introductory conversation, or a speech, or a very detailed and opinion-based interview, whatever the case. So do you understand whenever you listen somebody who speaks to you the English language? And that is all about listening. And listening test, okay, another test is speaking. Speaking is another very important skill of language, and that is also tested by IELTS test. So it tests your ability, whether you can express, whether you can use English language in a spoken form in different situation and context, in a different nature also. So it tests whether you can speak English correctly and appropriately or not, number 1. And if you can speak, again, to what extent do you really communicate in English? That is another questions that this IELTS test deals with. And after that, there is obviously reading skills. So reading skills is also tested. So your reading ability, your ability of comprehension, the text, that is also tested in terms of by checking the specific information, and another is trying to know the gist of the passage. After that, there is last but not the least writing skills. It is also tested in IELTS. So you will be given tasks and assignment that you have to write it in a certain period of time and submit it. So that's on the basis of that topic and subject matter, you have to write according to the demand of the question. So that way your 4 skills of language is tested by IELTS. So if we really try to put it in very few words, in simple words, IELTS test is the test of your English language. So dividing your English into 4 skills: how is your listening, how is your speaking, how is your reading, how is your writing with relation to English language. So on the basis of which you are tested, on the basis of which you are awarded with the marks and band or score, whatever you say, okay, band. So that way IELTS actually takes place. And now let's move to the which organization is responsible, or which organization has been taking the test of English language. Before dealing that questions, we need to understand that are there any other tests similar to IELTS in the world, very popular and valid tests? Yes, obviously there are. For example, there is TOEFL, there is CAE, Cambridge Advanced English, and TOEFL test of test of English with speakers of other language. So foreign language, and there is PTE, Pearson test of English, and there are so many other types of tests which are valid all over the world, but they are a little bit low in popularity in comparison to IELTS. So IELTS is in number 1, and it is conducted by British Council. As we know, British Council is one of the international organization, which actually works from the United Kingdom, UK. And there is another board also of IELTS IDP Australia. So these 2 board actually conduct, makes the required arrangements for the test, and gives the certificates or results, test report to the candidate also. So the candidate, they have to take their seat, they have to reserve their seat, paying in advance, and after at the test date they have to face the test, and they have to do, and after the test in 14 days they often have the results. 13 to 14 days it is said. So that way IELTS actually takes place. Now let's move to the in detail what happens in listening, speaking, reading and writing, including time, questions nature, time duration, question natures, and what you need to do whenever you face the IELTS exam. So your IELTS test starts from the listening sections. So listening, as its name, test of listening, listening test, as it suggests, as its name suggests, that there is an audio, so that you are going to listen that audio and answer the questions based on that audio. It's something like in case of reading, we have the passage most of the time, and there are the questions. You need not to go and run away and memorize and use your mind and trying to find out something from other external sources. No, there is the answer in the text, in the audio, and there are questions. So you listen the audio and try to answer the questions given in the question question sheet. So the entire listening test can be divided into 4 sections. So first sections, there is a conversation which is about the everyday life, and there are 2 to 3 people, and they talk about very common and everyday topic. It's something like the hospitals, schools, and a picnic and holidays, and transportation, those things that we often conduct in our day-to-day life. So first sections, and it goes for 7 to 8 minutes, and there are altogether 10 questions, and you have to listen the conversation, on the basis of which you have to answer all these questions. That means 10 questions. And the questions of the listening test of each and every sections are like multiple choice. So you need to choose the best answer, number 1, and the next one is filling the gaps, matching items, true, false, not given. So very short answer questions also are available over there. Very short means you are not going to write more than 3 words. Very short answers means 3 words, maximum 3 words, minimum one word. For example, beautiful green park, small beautiful park. This is the longest answer in IELTS listening. So maybe the answer may be the park, green or small. Answer can be anyone, or answer can be small park or green park. The maximum, the length of the answer is small green park. So that way we need to understand. So questions nature is almost all the questions are objective type. So you need not to write so long answers, maybe sentence to sentence. No, just you will write either number or words. So this is all about listening test. In second section, so the question type are same. In second section there is a monologue. There is also a piece of audio, and there is only one speaker who speak about the everyday topic, about the everyday business, everyday life, social life, and so on. And there are also 10 questions. The nature of the questions and type of the questions are similar to the section 1, and it also goes from 7 to 8 minutes. After that there is section 3. In section 3, what happens? There is a discussion. Whenever we say that there is a discussion, in section 1 conversation, section 2 monologue, section 3 discussion. Discussion means there is obviously formal topic, there is a serious topic, and there are 2 to 3 people, sometimes 4 also. So they discuss, they take part in conversation. Since the topic is serious, there is a problem, and they try to find out the answers or solution of that problem. Most of the time it is not everyday life or social life, it is a formal topic, and the scenario is about the training and education. In most of the cases there is a discussion between professors and the students in the trainer and trainee in the training centers. So they talk about their project and their problems about learning and teaching and so many other things. And there are also 10 questions in the sections, and the nature of the questions or type of the questions is something like in section 1 and 2, and it goes about 7 to 8 minutes again, and that way it ends. And at last there is section 4. Section 4 is a monologue, and it is purely a lecture given by a professor in the university. Most of the cases, in 80 to 90% cases, there is a piece of lecture by the professor about any topic, about science, engineering. It is actually what happens in the classroom while a professor gives the lecture, most of the cases. Or in other cases, some politicians also delivers the speech, and it's on the serious issue or formal issue. Scientists, researchers, give the presentation about his findings and so on. So there are again 10 questions, and it goes for 7 to 8 minutes. The subject matter is formal, subject matter is professional or business, and there is only one speaker, so it is called monologue. Now let me summarize about listening test of IELTS. First one is conversation, monologue, discussion, monologue. Many people, at least 2, single. Many people, at least 2, again single. So that way we can categorize the entire listening test. So first 2 are based on everyday life, and the subject matter is very common and casual in section 1 and 2. But the subject matter is very serious, formal and academic in section 3 and 4. Well, thank you. So I was trying to trying to talk about all the 4 skills, all the 4 types of test of IELTS in this video, but I thought that it may be longer, so that just I really want to stop over here, and in the next video I'll talk about reading and writing and speaking, about all these 4 skills and their test, the questions or assignments over there, how you need to prepare, all these things about that. So here what I am trying to talk about is how can we get the good score in IELTS listening. So before that, let me summarize. The IELTS test goes almost for 30 minutes, and there is 10-minute time before the end of IELTS listening test. You will be given 10-minute time, and at that time you will transfer your answer from the question sheet to answer sheet. There is a separate answer sheet in listening. What you do is you can write the answers on the question paper in the beginning when the audio actually plays. After that, when audio stops, you completed the question answer of all these 4 sections. That means the answer of 40 questions. Then you will move to transfer your answer to the answer sheet. At that time, you check the spellings and punctuations and grammars also if it is required. So that way we can complete the listening test. Now you need to know how is the score of listening test. The score of IELTS test, there is no fail or pass in IELTS. So the score goes from 1 to 9. 9 is the highest and 1 is the lowest. So many people and universities often say that below 6 is not that much good. So if you have 6 or 6.5, that's okay, and if you have 7 or 7.5 or more than that, that's excellent. So that way it is interpreted the score of IELTS listening. And now let me tell you some tips about how we can achieve more in IELTS listening. More than that, how can we improve our listening skills, listening of English. So how can we promote and develop our English language listening? It means to say that IELTS listening, if you promote your listening of English language, then automatically you will have good score in IELTS exam. There is no doubt about it. So you need to understand that way. And now the important thing is, if you really want to improve your English listening, and if you really want to score better in IELTS listening, what you need to do is you need to engage in free listening. This is my tips. And many scholars, many trainer in this world often encourage their candidates, their audience and their learners that they need to listen more English. No doubt, whatever you like to listen, it's up to you. Either you want to listen the sports commentaries and music, the movies and documentaries, and the news and interviews, political speech, and whatever, some of the serials and what we say, the TV shows. So whatever you listen, but you need to listen the English. You have to participate in communication if you like with the native speaker. If you have the access at that time, also you can improve your listening skills, because that is the real. Otherwise, you can listen to the native speaker, mainly British and American. So that will help your listening improvements, and that gives you the guarantee your score in IELTS listening will be higher. So first one is free listening. Whatever comes, please listen and try to understand it. Just listening may not be possible, okay? And the second one is listening in test format. So you can find out many books of IELTS, Cambridge IELTS publications, IELTS practice book from book 1 to 15, I guess nowadays, okay? So up to that, what you can do is you will also get the CDs with the book. So you can buy the books and you play the CDs, and there are questions you can practice. And at the back or at the end of the book, there are the answer sheet also. So you can check your response with the answers given in the book. And if your score is very low, and there is the interpretation, if you have below than 10, below than 15, or if you have in 25 to 30, or if you have more than 30, in case of, or let's say out of 40. So if your score is less than 15, then you are not, it is not time to face the test of IELTS listening. If your score is somewhere in 25 to 30, you can face the test, but again, there is no guarantee that you will have the good score. And if your score is more than 30, in average, if you check in 5 test set of listening, 10 sample tests of listening, then you may have the better score or comfortable score or required score in IELTS listening. So please listen, free listening, practice your English listening by listening whatever it comes in English, number 1. Number 2, in test format. Number 3, in with the tape script. Tape script is also very much helping you to understand the very minor but important things of English listening. For example, what happens in tape script, you listen the audio and you have the same thing, same thing printed or written on the paper. So you listen and you read, so that you can prepare yourself with the confidence with reading, listening and speaking together. That is also very useful, and it also helps you to improve your IELTS score in listening, or let's say English language skill. That is important things you need to understand. So that way I have suggested or recommended you 3 tips through which you can improve your English listening and through which you can improve your score of IELTS listening. So that way you can handle. And it is last but not least, what I really want to suggest to you is, it is not the overnight job. You need to have the passion, motivation, and you need to practice it continuously. Then only you can achieve your destination. You can achieve the score that you have dreamed in IELTS score. And this much for today's video. I hope this, the video all about the basic introduction of IELTS and the detailed understanding about listening test, I hope it is beneficial for you. And please do not forget to give me comments, questions, whatever you think in your mind, you can share with me so that we can interact with each other and it becomes a very lively and interactive platform through which we can improve each other's expectation, and I can supply whatever you need. That's very important. And please do not forget to subscribe my channels and give me the encouragement by putting the like buttons also over there. I hope this video is useful and interesting.